Welcome to this installment of my favorite Pokemon types. As the disclaimer goes, this is all about my personal preference. It has nothing to do with stats, abilities, none of the stuff that, dictates what Pokemon are good, bad, or in between. These are just the Pokemon that I happen to like. I'll be talking about the Psychic-type Pokemon that, are my favorites in this video. And, as someone who's been playing since the Red and Blue days, way back when, in, 1999, wow. Alakazam was one of the go-to, hard-hitter Pokemon. You weren't always able to use Mewtwo because it came out of the box at level 70, so when you needed something for level 55 and under, the special attacker that you had to choose from, if you wanted to use a Psychic to spam Psychic, was Alakazam. Harnessing its mental capabilities through its spoons, it's able to send shockwaves of Psychokinetic power at its opponents. And it's so fast, it hits so hard, pretty much between Alakazam and Starmie, they were my two go-to Psychic users when I could not use Mewtwo. Because, let's face it, back then, Mewtwo was boss, but Alakazam is pretty awesome. Plus, okay, there are two types of trainers with Alakazam. The ones who, won enough money to get it at the game corner in the form of Abra, or those of us who tested our luck, threw a Pokeball at an Abra north of Cerulean City and got an Abra that way. I like to think that makes you an alpha trainer if you got one that way. I did. I was there for hours. I saved outside the patch of grass, and once I was out of Pokeballs, turned off the power, turned it back on, restarted. Yes, that is what I did. And I didn't use Abra on my first playthrough. I used it in Red, and oh my god, it destroys Team Rocket so easily. That's my nostalgic moment with Alakazam. In Gen 2, Eevee got two new evolutions, so obviously I'm going to be talking about Espeon, the Sun Pokemon. Its silver coat, that red jewel on its forehead, it is a lovely Pokemon. To this day, I still love Espeon. I like using it very much. I just wish it had a deeper move pool. Yeah, it's great that it has things like Psychic, and I believe it even has Confusion and Psybeam, blah blah, Psychic. But, I would like to teach it some other moves, other than Shadow Ball. It just seems like the evolutions do suffer a little bit in that area in some ways. But it's not just for its attacks that makes Espeon cool. It's not just because in a player's guide that came out when Gold and Silver came out, that they compared it to Mewtwo immediately. For anyone who can't get it, this is the Pokemon that you use. No. See, Espeon isn't just all about its mental prowess. The hair that comes out of its ears, it uses that to sense how the opponent's moving. It reads the winds and the subtle differences to detect how its opponent's going to move and predicts its movements that way. I think that's pretty cool. And then there's that forked tail. In Gen 3, I played Sapphire, so of course my running dragon that was soaring above the region was Latias. Latias, now while it's the more defensive of the Latias, I actually preferred her. I like that move Mistfall. I thought it was magical in some way. I don't know. It was kind of it put the opponent into a daze, and this is all in my mind you. It put the opponent into a daze, and it just kind of, hit them with a Psych Shock just when they were at their most mental weakness. And it reduces special defense at 2, I believe, so that's really great. And I don't know, I just always kind of preferred her over Latios. And I kind of felt her more defensive abilities kind of made her, I don't know, a little more special, just because there's so many Pokemon that are glorified as attackers, and then we get this legendary that's more suited to, barriers and defense. And granted, this is the generation where double battles were made, so obviously she was made to help support Latios. Finally, so Espurr, when I encountered it when I was in the Kalos region in Pokemon X, I was just alright, I'll give it a try. Now, I had the female one, so I got the female Meowstic, which, curiously, was a very great Pokemon. Between the two, I kind of thought that the male looked pretty cool, but I'm so accustomed to seeing the female now, I actually prefer seeing the female over the male. And, it's so weird that their colors are different like that, but yeah, Meowstic was great. I used it as my catcher. I would have her use Thunder Wave, so now, you know, the Pokemon's paralyzed. And then I could switch over to my Pulse Swiper, like, she was part of the team. Using moves like Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Echoed Voice, and of course, Psychic. You know, Meowstic was a really great Pokemon, and I think it was really the first time that through my main playthrough, my original playthrough of the region, I had that Psychic type on my team, and it was such a different experience. Like, I usually don't deviate too much with the types that I use, but I always want my playthroughs to be unique onto themselves, so Meowstic holds the, you know, I guess blue ribbon of being the first Psychic type on one of my main teams. So bravo to her. Let me know about your favorite Psychic types in the comment section below. Make sure to check out my other videos in the right hand column and give this video a like. You watch this long, you should like it. And it helps me out a lot when you do that. It also helps me out when you subscribe and watch my videos every day and every week. So, thank you so much for watching. Alright, this is the Patreon exclusive portion of the video. Thank you so much for checking out and supporting me here on Patreon. So, throughout the video, you probably heard me mentioning a certain Pokemon, and that's not who I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about Malamar. Malamar is this dark psychic squid thing. I don't know why I like it so much. My original one had suction cups, and I just never got, like, the only thing I really used it for was chain fishing, but I became kind of attached to it. Then I got one with Contrary. That was pretty cool. It's just a shame that it doesn't really learn any moves to which it gets the stab and then it can use Contrary to keep spamming it out. I think that's one of the things that Malamar, you know, kind of suffers from. But the coolest thing about Malamar is how you get it. So when you have it in K, and I believe at level 20, when it's leveling up to level 20, you have to have your 3DS upside down. Because if it's not upside down, it won't evolve. And I just think that is the most coolest, most unique way to get a Pokemon to evolve. And I'm kind of curious how that would, like, play out in real life. Like, when it's at a certain level, do you just hold the Pokeball upside down somehow to get it to evolve? Or will it just, like, how does that mechanic transfer into real life? That is one of the things that I kind of wonder about with Inkay and Malamar. But, yes, I am going to talk about that Pokemon now. Mewtwo and Mega Mewtwo Y. Now, first, I'm going to talk about Mewtwo. So, everybody wanted to have Mewtwo back in the day. Mewtwo was the original, I will win if I use this Pokemon, with outstanding, like, all its stats are just the highest. All its stats are just great. You know, Mewtwo is a very well-rounded Pokemon. Like, Deoxys took its place, but to me, I felt Mewtwo was better because Mewtwo just had more defense stats, whereas even though Deoxys had more attack, Mewtwo can take hits, and a lot of people will talk about, you know, like how Mewtwo every generation seems to have, you know, a version of itself, like that generation's Mewtwo. And to me, you know, Mewtwo still holds like a high rank to me, just because it's well-rounded. I enjoyed like Mewtwo for what was in the Pokemon manga with it. So, in order to create Mewtwo, Blaine of the Cinnabar Island Gym, who was associated with Team Rocket, right? Because all the southern gym leaders got sucked into Team Rocket somehow. Like, they were all members, and the northern gym leaders were the good gym leaders. Now, so when they were cloning Mew, they kept failing. So Blaine put in some of his DNA, and that's how Mewtwo was created. But now the two of them kind of share a bond. And Mewtwo was creating a Psychic Tornado and traveling around the Kanto region, you know, with its Psychic Tornado. It was up to Red to defeat Mewtwo and get in there. Now, in order to do this, though, you had to get in close to Mewtwo. Now, Mewtwo would use Psychic, like, it was depicted as just, like, shockwaves, but I guess that's what Psychic really is. Psychic would help, you know, keep enemies away, but if someone got in close to Mewtwo, Mewtwo could create a Psychokinetic Spoon, and it was said that using the Psychokinetic Spoon was, like, a sign of the highest level Psychic Pokemon, because it could generate that spoon. And it was that stuff like that that made me enjoy the manga, but it was just like, whoa, wait, Alakazam is the spoon user. Why does Mewtwo have one? And it was using it like a bow staff. It was just so cool. And plus, like, how can you not like the Darth Vader of the Pokemon world that, you know, he's going to destroy the world but remake it just for Pokemon. And the original first movie, which is still epic to this day, he is the star of. Moreover, so Mega Mewtwo Y has an interesting story to it. Originally, if you see the movie with Genesect, that has the shiny Genesect in it, which when you transfer the shiny Genesect, it loses its shininess, but we're talking about Mewtwo. Mewtwo Y was originally known as the Awakened form. I don't think they really were thinking about Mega Evolution at this time, but Mega Mewtwo Y gets to be a bridge Pokemon to bring together two generations. But still, Mega Mewtwo Y is pretty cool. It just takes the whole psychic abilities to a new level, and it seems to be like it has more Mew characteristics to it. And just seeing like that old Pokemon revived in such a way that it looks like newer, it looks more enlightened. You know, this awakened form now, Mega Mewtwo Y. It was just like, wow, like seeing this already powerful Pokemon take on a new shape and form. It's just like, you know, it's kind of like we're not forgetting about our past, we're building upon it. We're not just pumping out new generations and never thinking of our old Pokemon. That's what Mega Mewtwo Y said to me. So let me know what you thought in the comment section below. And once again, to my patrons, thank you so much, because only you should have been seeing this last portion of the video. I greatly appreciate all your support, and let's work together to make my channel even bigger and better. So do make sure to head over to YouTube and check out some of my other Pokemon videos. Thanks for watching.